Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Final Show Films. I'm Sen, your executive producer. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I want to thank our Twitter tier supporters over on our Patreon page at patreon.com/fsfilms. Those being Jerry and Alexander and L, without whom we won't be able to do nearly as much as we do now. So thank you very much for your support over the years. And those of you that are watching live, please sit back, relax, and enjoy. And we're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Exandria Rising. I am Sen, your game master for the evening, and I am joined this week by Shawnee.
Hi, I am Shani, or William, and I'm playing Najka Fleem Howell, the Orcish craftswoman.
And Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm playing Elafira Gilrit, who is a water genasi. What's my class?
Investigator.
Investigator. That's it.
Investigator.
I still get thrown on A because I just switched to this class, but B also because it sounds like that should be a subclass name.
It does. Yeah, it does. I think it might be a subclass name for.
Oh, no, it probably is.
No, I believe there is a rogue investigator. Yes.
Well, no, it's rogue is inquisitor. I think is what it is, or
correct. Inquisitive.
Yeah.
Inquisitive. Inquisitor is a very different thing.
Yes. A rogue inquisitor is also a very different thing than a rogue inquisitive. Anyways, and also being joined by Drevian.
From Drevian, I'm playing Tenebrous, a Jerbean Witch Warlock.
And Holly.
Hey, I'm Holly. I'm playing Davina, a mystic silky folk.
We are not joined this week by Greg, who normally plays Grouper, and Jack is still on hiatus for now. When last we left off, as always, trans rights and human rights and Black Lives Matter. And when last we left off, the party had gone a couple of different ways in their various investigations. Davina had we had the breakdown last week, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Davina had begun to question the facts of her reality, and in the questioning of it, began to cause other people to question whether or not some rogue magic was happening in the city. This revelation also began to make Elafira's paranoid mind do a paranoid, and the party began to try to seek out what something to help Davina, and also something to possibly take over their investigation into the hags while they've been looking into where the hags that they have been hunting might have taken some children. We pick up with Elafira.
Yes.
You are heading to try to find a group of paladins known as coin collectors. You recall seeing a couple of them in a tavern nearby. You are currently drunk, which is to say, have the poison condition. So go ahead and give me an investigation check with disadvantage.
Hold on, I need to get in character. All right. What am I rolling?
Investigation with disadvantage.
Investigation with disadvantage. Dope. Let's see. Investigation. Oh. I mean, I don't even know why I rolled that second one.
On that one is pretty much as low as you're gonna get. All right, so let's see.
Just wandering the streets.
Just wandering the streets.
Just wandering the streets. Coin collectors! I need coin collectors! And then I just end up in like a bazaar with somebody trying to sell me a rare a Shady Creek Run minted error.
First printing of like an old mint coin from like some rare dynastic year.
This one had a printing error on it where it inverted the face of the person.
Make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, good.
With another not one, that's 2 in a row. Or as the World of Darkness players might call it, a double botch.
Jesus Christ.
You black out.
It's gonna be one of those days. Roll 20.
You black
Shit.
out, and we'll rejoin you when you wake up later.
This is payback for my getting to get fucked by the moon yesterday, isn't it?
Wait, hang on. What happened?
I got fucked by the moon.
You missed a lot yesterday.
I don't feel like that needs any extra explanation.
Oh no. It does. It definitely does. It needs a lot of extra explanation.
So the actual explanation is that Cuchulainn was a Luna spirit, and so when Jeremy's character got laid by Cuchulainn, they were getting fucked by the moon.
As a distractionary tactic so they could steal a bull. And certainly not for any other reason beyond that.
I mean, in Werewolf the Apocalypse, the moon tells us to fuck this wolf or the guy will die. So I guess it makes sense for us to return the favor once in a while.
Right?
Anyways.
Look, we were in the legendary realm. I had to do a legendary thing.
That certainly is a legendary feat right there. Worthy of song and story.
Yep.
Anyways. Well, Najka.
It's sort of the inverse feeling of my girlfriend turned into the moon.
Najka.
Yes.
The sounds of Elefira shouting drunkenly in the street had disappeared. What are you up to?
Nashka finishes. Nashka as the sound of Elefira disappearing out, screaming for a coin collector, just sort of fades in the distance. Nashka just quietly sips the drink that she was having, puts it down. I'm gonna go make a big gun.
Fair.
Clarification: does it actually disappear in the distance, or does it get somewhere in the middle ground and then suddenly cut out?
No, it just appears in the distance.
Okay.
It's not like somebody. It's not like Elefira stops shouting nearby. It's you hear it going off further and further away.
I know. I was just wondering how long it took for Elvira to pass out.
Oh, Elefira passed out but didn't stop shouting.
For
you don't know how,
clarification,
so, to be clear, blackout drunk just means you don't remember what you did. It doesn't mean that
Correct.
you're actually unconscious.
100%.
It just means that your brain has stopped making connections and thus memories.
we call that anterograde amnesia, where you just stop remembering things for a bit.
Yep.
Stop writing to file.
Yep. The hard drive is full and it can't save any more data. The fan is still running, just nothing's happening.
Yeah. So for clarification, Najka is, as a craftsman, is capable of making industrial era firearms, basically out of the vaulted list.
Renaissance era firearms.
Renaissance era. Okay.
Yeah, Renaissance era. Because this is all Exandria has not yet gotten to industrial era firearms.
I'm basically checking whether or not I can make a Gatling gun.
Yeah, no. Everything is still like gunpowder loaded charges. Nothing is cartridges yet. With the exception of with the exception of things like God damn it, what was Percy's sniper rifle?
Bad news.
Bad news.
Bad news.
It was something like bad news, which was like a genius's why am I losing all of my words? Grandest expression of your art, the best thing, your masterpiece, specific
Magnum
word.
opus.
Magnum opus. Yeah. Bad news, which was like Percy's magnum opus. If you're making a magnum opus, then you can go up into industrial era firearms. But other than that, it's going to be largely Renaissance era.
To be fair, I think they're at muskets. So
they're muskets and pepper boxes. Like the thing that he used most often were pepper boxes, which are just they're just flintlocks with 6 barrels. Well, actually, honestly, they'd probably be more the step next to.
I mean, it's the like if I were to make the pepper box at the moment, it would be the equivalent of the volley gun in the Volvo's list of guns.
Wheel lock. So actually, but the pepper box is more of a wheel lock than a flint lock, but still similar to like technology.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah. So there's no. It's all powder charges and striking. No cartridges or anything like that. What were you, Davina? What were you doing? Do you have any memory? Any memory of what you were doing?
The last thing I remember on it, Davina, Grouper, and Tenebris were in the river.
Right. Yes,
She
that's
was
where you're.
calming down.
Yeah, you were calming down in
Okay,
the river.
I can't remember if I went anywhere beyond that,
I don't
but
think
I
you
think
did.
that's
No.
it.
I think that's where we left off. Yeah. So
Davina was chilling in the river. Tenebris was rolling down and swimming back up, and
yeah. So yeah, Davina and Tenebris and Grouper, who's not there, but the players are there, but the character is. We'll come back over to the river. At this point, we'll say you have managed to get some control over yourself. Go ahead and just make an intelligence save for me real quick, just to see where you're at mentally. Win 11? Okay. You have
Not a one.
You are not. You're not spiraling. You're not still spiraling down into is everything around me fake kind of situation. You have solidified, at least for the moment, that the only thing that you're not 100% sure of is the last 5 years. Everything before and
Okay.
after that, you're pretty solidly on right now. For the moment, that could change if you accidentally, lose control and spiral out of control again. But yeah, what having calmed down with Grouper and Tenebris nearby, what do you want to do now?
Honestly, she would like to go find Ella to apologize. She's in a better mindset.
Okay. Shawnee, is Najka? Where would Najka have gone to work on a gun or whatever?
She probably because she's been sort of making an amount of money while in town. She's probably set up like a makeshift workshop around where the goblin ruin divers, is that the job?
Relic seekers, yeah.
Yeah, where the she's probably set up like a makeshift workshop around where the relic seekers caravan is at.
Okay.
So probably around there.
So yeah, so Davina, Tenebris, are you going with Davina or are you going off to something else?
we'll go with Davina.
You get back to the inn, and neither Elefira nor Najka are there. It's pretty easy to find Najka if you go looking from there, but you're finding no signs of Elefira anywhere.
Okay, then she'll go back and find Nashka.
Right, yep. You find Najka near the Goblin Relic Seekers caravan, working on something at a forge.
As you approach, she's got basically like a massive bore like cylinder of metal that she's slowly just sort of hammering a barrel through with a heavy wedge and the forge maul just sort of like beating a barrel out of this slab of metal.
Hi. Oh, this is in your head, by the way.
Yeah.
Have you spoken to Ella recently?
A little bit ago,
Did she tell you?
I got the brief rundown,
Okay. Do you know where she is?
She went out looking for coin collectors, the paladin order, not the tax collectors kind of people. But
I was trying to find her, but she's good at disappearing.
she was also drunk, so who knows where she'll pop up.
I'm sure she'll be fine.
She's been out drunk before. I'm sure she can take care of herself.
Okay, I wanted to apologize. I lost it a bit.
The world is stressful already, and you've been through more than most. It's understandable. Not everything's gonna. Sometimes we crack.
Okay. I'm gonna rest for a bit. Do you know what the plans are moving forward?
Elefira was going to see if she could get some assistance with taking over the investigation into the children because I told her she Elefira wants to move on and start following up on the leads that we've got around what's going on with all of the psychic individuals that have been involved with the torchbearers. Try and find any leads on anyone other than you and name I can't remember.
Hawk.
You and
Hawk.
Hawk. I told her she wanted me to try and convince everyone else to be willing to give this up and let someone else take care of it. I told her that I didn't think she could convince me, so first I told her, see if you can even find someone to take on this job, and then we'll talk about moving on. So, presumably she's out trying to do that.
Okay.
Cut to Ellie.
Oh no, no, you're not an alley.
Face down.
You are face down,
I'm-
yes.
Okay, she'll just tell Mashka, I'm gonna go to my room for a bit.
We know if
I'm
you need
so-
anything.
Yeah, still coming down. She is gonna go to her room and she is going to try to meditate like she's done before and try to see if she can unlock any more memories from the past 5 years.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Which is probably a bad idea, but
Yeah, there's no way this can go wrong, right?
18. It's okay. It didn't fail.
An 18. Nothing new right now.
Okay.
I mean, success could also be a big problem.
True.
Tenebris, what are you doing?
Well, Davina goes back to her room. Tenebris will go back to the library
Continue
and
helping.
continue helping.
The Cobalt Soul Diviner, who is continuing to analyze information and see if they can figure out where the hags have gone specifically. All right, so you all have your remaining activities for the day. Elefira,
Yeah,
you wake up
what's up?
with an incredible headache, the taste of dirt and salt in your mouth, with your face and like a bit of a like sort of a pain in your cheek from where you have been apparently leaning passed out against the inside of a cell at the local guard barracks.
Water.
You start calling for water, and you hear someone in another room. Drunk's awake, asking for water. All right. And after a few moments, someone wearing a guard uniform, the guard uniform of word name. The guard uniform of Westruun is the words eventually caught on mouth. Walks into view.
Just to make sure, because I'm not 100% on this. I'm pretty sure, but I'm not 100%. We were in Western last thing I
Yes,
remembered,
you were in
right?
Yes.
Westruun,
Okay,
yes.
okay. I didn't like wander through a portal somewhere.
No.
you know?
No.
You wake up in a guard's in a mon.
You
Even better in Marquette.
you made your way to the drunk tank. It sounds like,
Hmm.
but you're still in the same city.
Okay,
And
that's good.
they the guard passes water to you and then sort of crouches down.
Thank you. What's the fine?
There's no fun. Just had to make sure you weren't going to be a danger to yourself or others.
All right.
Soon as you're able to
I
walk,
like
you're
this
free.
town. No fine. Yep. I'll down the water, as foul as it probably is.
It's not bad,
Pass it
especially
back.
especially not given how dehydrated you are right now. It's pretty good.
Right.
Fun fact: the more dehydrated you are, the better water tastes.
Yep.
Because your body is desperate to get you to drink some water.
Mm-hmm. Which is correspondingly dangerous, because if you drink it too quickly, depending on how dehydrated it is, can actually turn out worse for you.
Yep. But yeah. Yeah, no, there's no fine. They just whenever there's somebody who's being so long as nothing
Belligerent.
so long as nothing's been broken or damaged or anything like that, so long as there's somebody who's being self-destructively drunk, they just put them in the drunk tank until they sober up.
Fair enough. I like this town then. It's a much cheaper town to be in than most.
Because if nothing's been broken, no laws, nothing's been broken, no harm's been done. The only harm has been to the
Right.
self, and the hangover will take care of that.
Oh, legit. Just most towns. I imagine. I imagine Iman, for example, being the major metropolis town with all the elements of corruption that come in. Being somebody randomly wandering around who's no harm to themselves but happens to be drunk, that's a good way to fund the police department.
It depends on which part of town you're in. Really, in Amman, you would know from experience that if
Sure.
you're in the wealthier end of Amman, definitely yes. If you're in the more common area, they typically don't.
Okay.
The no cost drunk tank is pretty universal in Taldore. In Wildmount, there's always a price, and sometimes it's more than you're willing to pay.
Right.
And in Marquette, you don't know. You've never risked getting drunk in Marquette because you feel like it's a good way to die.
Yep.
Because Marquette is a very arid continent, wherein if you get super dehydrated in the desert, you will not wake up again. But once you are able to walk in a straight line, you are released on your own recognizance. And they just let you know that if you're gonna drink that much, find a place to sit down while you do it.
Normally I did. Yep. Thank you. And I'm going to head back to the inn.
Yep. You head back to the inn. It's like 3 a.m. at this point.
Yeah, figured.
You get back to the inn, lay down, pass out.
Yep.
And you all get a long rest. Well, unless there's something else you wanted to do before you got a long rest here.
No, I was just going to check in, see if anybody is awake, and if they are, let them know, because I've been missing for however many hours it's been.
Is anybody still awake at 3 a.m. out of concern for Elefira?
I mean, not out of concern. I feel like some people might be awake, just period.
Yeah, fair. So I'm checking.
Tinniverse is not. Tinniverse is in a different room and doesn't realize Elvira's not back yet.
Nashka's probably gone to sleep at this point, but probably very recently. So if there
Cool.
was if there was any like desire to talk to her, she probably would.
No.
Easily.
If everybody's asleep, she's not gonna wake them up to say, "Hey, I just wanted to wake you out of your sleep to let you know I'm back." That's what you do when you're drunk, not after you're drunk.
You do when you're drunk.
I feel like Davina eventually just passed out.
Yeah.
So she's
Go.
probably out.
All right. So yeah, you all get your long rests and wake up in the morning to start anew. Checking in with the diviner, she's still working on it. She hasn't narrowed down anything specific yet. What's the plan for the day?
Me up with everybody. Didn't manage to find anybody last night. I will try again today.
I don't know if we've got another day before the diviner finds anything. Well, until we expect the diviner to find anything, whether they
Right.
will or not is a different matter entirely.
Yep.
I'll be out plying my work and making some more material.
Cool.
If anyone needs me, you probably know where to find me.
I'll just follow the clanking sounds.
Elefira, assuming that every blacksmith is Najka, is very disappointed the first 5 times.
No, but there is a specific ring to the sound when Najka is working. That's what you zero in on.
Right, sorry. Is very disappointed the first 6 times. Davina, Teneris? Teneris going back to help the diviners more?
Yep. Timbers is heading back to the library.
Davina?
Davina is doing the healthy and logical thing and shutting herself away in her room. She is in a calmer mood. She just doesn't want to bring harm to anyone.
Yep.
If possible, she will try to meditate again to see if she can unlock anything.
Because healthy
another wisdom
PCs
save.
are boring.
What?
Elvira, since you're going out to investigate again, go ahead and give me an investigation check. So wisdom save from Davina, investigation check from Elvira, unless you're doing something else first.
I said that healthy PCs are boring.
19.
19, continuing to not unlock anything new.
Okay.
There we go.
An 8.
Motherfucker.
It's not a 1 at least.
It's not a 1. And you're not drinking.
No, but I will point out that I no, I did roll 112. It was on the disadvantage roll. Otherwise, I rolled nothing above a 4 so far.
With an 8, what is your passive? Your passive investigation is 14. Looks like.
Correct.
Okay. So with an 8, it takes you a while, but you do eventually find at a bar called at a bar called the Half Flagon. You find a small group of individuals that are dressed in this sort of like let me pull up the thing I did here real quick. That are dressed in relatively heavy, heavy armor that seems to have a sort of a common uniform amongst the group. One of which is wearing sorry, my brain is failing. So they're all wearing like sort of whites and golds and then some like nice leather and such. One of them has a particularly impressive looking sword on his back and a shield next to him while he's sitting, and they are just chatting away. The one that seems to be in charge of the group, as you sort of take a minute to sort of check them out from across the bar, is a wood elf, a fairly well built wood elf, dark brown skin, sort of like golden eyes that reflect sort of the color of the sunset, dark green hair, multiple piercings in the ears, and like the beginning of like 5 o'clock shadow, is just. They're going back and forth about some recent task they've been working on, but you definitely have identified that they are indeed the coin collectors that you recall hearing about being in the city.
All right, I will approach.
As you approach, one of them sort of taps the wood elf on the bracer, who looks over. Hello there. How can I help you?
Hi. My name is Ella. And I was wondering if you had a moment. I'm looking for. I'm aware of a situation that the coin collectors may be interested in.
Oh, well then, pull up a chair, describe it,
Yep. I will sit down.
and I will put
I
the I will put the image of this particular coin collector in Slack for you all.
okay. I will give so fuller introduction for Geralt. I cannot remember. You and I can never remember what my position is within the Cobalt Soul.
You're an inquisitive.
Inquisitive, yeah, inquisitive with the Cobalt Soul. And me and myself and my party have come across a situation involving a hag that has acquired some children from the city. And
Sort
I will
of-
provide him with all the details.
He sort of leans forward. At the mention of hag and children, he does like raises an eyebrow and leans forward. Also, the mini for this coin collector, who you learn his name is Lyriel, is
Lyriel.
on the screen for the audience as well.
Nice.
Lyriel leans forward and sort of like folds his arms together as he does, listens to you. Well, sounds like you have a bit of a trouble on your hands. Then, this is precisely the sort of thing that we are of a habit of investigating. What's the catch?
There's not really a catch so much as we would be normally we would absolutely see this all the way through to the end, but we have suddenly had a bigger situation that has more personal importance, and more dangerous implications fallen into our lap that would take us out of the city. We need somebody to pick up where we've left off.
Well, I assume then that you're not going to be wanting any other reward.
I don't think so. I'm not concerned about it.
Well, sounds fair to me. You say you're working with the Cobalt Soul on this. Is there someone we should talk
Correct.
to about investigating further?
Yes.
Or would you like to introduce me?
I'll provide. Yeah, I will do that as well.
Mhm. I'll look over at the other coin collectors.
I will take them.
The other coin collectors, lads, finish your drinks, and then meet you back at the tent. And then he'll stand up and put the shield, pick that shield up from the side of the table, hook it over his shoulder onto a strap, and then just sort of gesture for you to lead the way.
Okay. I will at this point as give me just a second, and I will send off ascending to Nashka.
Are you gonna take the full 10 minutes to do the ritual, or are you gonna use your?
No, I'm gonna use one of my rushed incantations.
Yeah.
And found the coin collectors. They're in, taking them to see the
Elisaria.
diviner. Thank you, Elisaria. Now,
All right.
told them would forego reward.
I mean, that's fair. I'm not
Oops,
exactly
sorry.
doing this for the reward anyway.
And yeah, that was like 24 words. So,
Yep. All right. So yeah, you take Lyriel to Elisaria. Elisaria brings him up to speed. And yeah,
Cool.
the coin collectors are happy to take this off your hands if you so desire.
All right, let me really quick talk to my group. And get all of the all of the I's crossed and the T's dotted, and then that should be it.
Just let me know and we'll take it up.
Absolutely. I will send you a message once we're set.
Sort of salutes with like a boot knife that he's using to just
Yep.
sort of like carve bits of an apple off of. And
Yeah, I'm gonna start going around and finding people.
well, Tenebris was there, so pretty easy to find
Right.
Tenebris.
Yeah.
Davina is back at the end. Presumably, Grouper is somewhere that easily found. And
Right.
the good goblins and Najka would be over by the
At the
market.
forge.
So yeah.
Yep.
Pretty easy to gather everyone together. Assuming
All
that
right.
Davina doesn't refuse and decide to hide in her room for more time.
Yeah, it's
No.
gonna be a. Hey, we have to talk about the group of us need to talk about where we go from here.
Okay, sure. Did you open the door to her room?
No.
Okay. All right.
Just a knock.
10 minutes downstairs
Uh-huh.
or 10 minutes one of the rooms because I guess we're not talking about this downstairs. 10 minutes my room.
Is she currently
The room that
sharing a
you're
room with
yeah, the room that
anyone?
you're
Oh,
sharing. with
that's right.
Davina.
That's your room. That is your room. Never mind.
Okay.
10 minutes. Nebulous place.
10 minutes, location to be decided.
Yes.
I was fine if I
Downstairs is
could-
fine. That's where we've been doing most of our talking anyway.
Send in your votes now.
Yes. And yeah. Wait for everybody to show up.
You all get together in one spot. Whether that spot is downstairs, in someone's room, or in a nebulous third
Yep.
location, you're all together.
An extra dimensional space. Somehow we have summoned.
I was about to say I don't know that anyone knows Magnificent Mansion yet.
How about just an intradimensional space instead?
There you go. All right, so
Wherever we're at, Nashka is sitting down and still working on this gun that she's building as the group is talking.
here's I think at this point, given what we have found out about the people that were on the boat with you, Davina, I'm deeply concerned about, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but you and I actually talked about this possibility, didn't we? Or did I just talk about that with Najka?
What possibility?
That everybody who is sent out is a potential danger.
A little bit, but that's when she was so far gone
Right.
that she may not remember.
Okay. So the concern here is if the people that Silos and the Torchbearers were experimenting on, there's a good chance that they could be dangerous out there. Not in a conscious kind of way, going out to do terrible things, but if somebody stumbles on this information that would be dangerous to the Torchbearers, very easy way to solve that problem is to have them, for lack of a better term, explode. And they're out there.
I'm gonna what?
Not you.
Davina, who has like all of the notes she was writing down
Right.
yesterday, like spread out, she's trying to make sense of, just looks up from that.
Not you. Well, not you. Because we know about it now. We know about that possibility and we can keep track. We talked you down. You got talked down yesterday. It's fine.
He writes more things down.
But there are a number of people out there who don't have this
Support network.
correct.
That we know of.
And I'm concerned that could even this is me spiraling off into side things, and I don't know exactly how realistic this is, but that could even be part of the goal. Put a bunch of psychic bombs in places around Taldore. This is bigger. It's really important that this Hag situation get resolved, but this is a bigger situation and a bigger problem. And I have found a group of coin collectors, Changebringer, Paladin Order, who are willing to take on the Hag situation. So we're not just dropping it. We would leave it in very capable hands as we move on. And the first place I can think of to go is, I mean, you said Hawk was going to Amon, right?
Yeah.
That's where I would suggest we go. We were headed there anyways. And he's the one person that we know was there with you.
Well, I don't know. I'm just thinking. He told us to separate.
Mm-hmm.
I had a place to go.
Where did you have to go?
The island. After we escaped.
Right.
I had my home to go back to.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant you had a
I
place
don't-
to go from now
Oh,
here
no.
to.
No.
Okay.
Sorry. If I didn't have a place to go,
Right.
I probably would have not gone to a big city where there were lots of people and lots of voices.
That's fair.
I would have tried to find somewhere off the beaten path.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to give me a intelligence save, Holly, to sort of get an idea of where you might have gone, given where you ended up.
I'm scared to do intelligence saves now.
6. Wherever it was you would have gone would
Why?
have been along the Lucidian coast. Because you know that you were near the coast when you got out.
Okay.
So your mind then is, rather than going to Iman, which is on the other side of the continent, your mind is probably to head towards the coast instead, if you're looking for other people that ran off.
Okay, then she will just say that Lucidian coast.
Okay.
It's probably where a lot of them were headed. It's where I would have gone. And it was close to the location we were being kept.
Or rather,
That's
the
fair.
location you were at was on the Lucidian coast. Lucidian coast is a large
Oh,
stretch
it
of
was
area.
on.
Yeah,
Okay.
let me put you guys on the Taldor.
On the big map?
The Lucidian coast is basically the entire east coast of Taldore.
Correct.
Yeah. So like somewhere along the Lucidian coast. Nothing more specific because you can't recall precisely what was nearby. But you basically just ran to the water and dove off.
Yeah.
And started swimming. Other people would have split in different directions. There's a lot of named places. There's also a lot of small towns all up and down the coast that people could have gone to. Probably not Stillbin, given that you've already been through Stillbin and there weren't any like weird psychic activity
That I know
there
of.
that you know of. Yeah.
That is totally fair. The only reason that I'm saying Amon, well, 2 reasons. One, we were kind of headed there anyways on what we were planning, on our eventual, what we were planning to do. And 2, that's somewhere that, again, we know where one is.
Yeah. Oh, well, what more? I mean, Hawk is helpful, but
Do you
He
think
doesn't
Hawk
know
might?
where the others are.
Are you sure about that?
He just told us to separate. Didn't she ask him
Yeah,
if he knew where others were?
Yeah, he doesn't know where anybody else. He just told everyone to scatter. Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't have a connection to anyone. I mean, other than him being patient zero, he doesn't have that, like, none of us knew each other before.
So I'm gonna say something, and it's probably gonna sound callous or harsh or paranoid or suspicious or what have you. Are you sure?
I think I just
I mean, he literally didn't know that you were there until you stumbled in front of him, and he like revealed himself to you.
what, Hawk?
Yeah.
I'm
Like
just
when you met him in the city a couple
Right.
days ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Or like a week ago.
I'm just being the paranoid one who looks at patient zero means that he's been there the longest. So I don't know him. I'm questioning him because that's the rational thing to do.
I don't really think if this is just me and my organizational mind, but I don't really think you keep the battery with the you don't keep the battery with the coils, as it were. You don't put the thing that you're trying to copy the powers from with the things that you're trying to copy the powers to. I don't know that he would have had much interaction with other prisoners being the thing that was getting experimented on to figure out, versus the other prisoners being the things that are being experimented on to try and do what he did.
Davina is now scribbling faster again.
I mean, he had interaction with at least one of them.
When he broke them out, when he and the rest of them broke out of jail, he told them to
Right.
scatter. Is basically all the interaction they had, as far as we've been told.
I understand, and I'm not trying to make accusations. I'm asking all the questions so we can get the answers out and we can reason through it. Because my cynical side response to that is, then he was the person in the position of who took a semi position of authority in that moment and directed the rest to do something. You see where my mind is going?
I see where you're
Potentially.
going, but I also think that's a matter of him being the only one in any control of his faculties, being the person who actually was used to the powers he has.
We don't know that that's the case. That's a big assumption to make.
It's about the only one we've got at the moment.
And that's fair. I am walking way out on limbs here. Because if we don't broach the subject, then it's something that we've never considered if it comes back to bite us in the ass. If we think it makes sense, that's fair. And we can move on from Hawk is potentially suspicious. But
all this kind of feels like we're going on a hunt based on nothing but assumptions.
We've got no leads on any of this, and all we've got is the information that we've been given by the people who experienced it, who maybe can and maybe can't rely on that experience.
Nobody's looking at it right now. So the little bit of information we have is more than anybody else.
The only way we're going to find any more leads about this is continuing to track down the Torchbearers, which was a job that all of us were already on for one reason or another.
Or at least having some kind of a deeper conversation with Hawk, who seems to be trying to go, here's a little bit of tantalizing information, now let's split up as quickly as we can.
I mean, he was available to talk to for a couple of days before he left. He to be clear on that particular point at the very least, because he was like, I'm going to be here for a couple of days and then I'm leaving to a mom.
Right.
So if you need anything or have any questions, come ask me. Otherwise, see you later. So it wasn't like, here's a little bit and then I'm leaving. It was, here's the answers to the questions you've asked,
Okay.
and I'll be leaving in 2 days. Just for the barest bit of clarity on that, because it has been a bit
Fair
since that
enough.
conversation.
It had exactly. Exactly.
It was not.
Well, then if that's the case, I would argue
Yeah.
that we need to get back on the torchbearer hunt.
That's a question for you lot. What do you all think? I don't like putting this down, but if people feel that this is more urgent,
I don't like it either, to be clear. I'm not saying fuck these kids.
The torchbearers feels like a more encompassing problem.
I don't know.
Also, did you guys ever investigate like the money side of things that you had come to Western to investigate initially?
I don't.
I believe we had started to, and then got sidetracked by running into Hawk.
That was it. That's what happened, yeah. And then just forgot about the objectives.
Well,
I
because
mean, less forgot about and more. Okay, we would like to do this. Shit, hag.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, like because we started like looking around to try and get leads, and one of those leads was, let's go talk to the Cobalt Soul, and going to talk to the Cobalt Soul led to there are children missing, and that
Right,
became
right.
an immediate priority.
That's
Yep.
right. That's right. Yeah, because the expositor that wasn't there, and so you ended up just talking to one of the local archivists.
I mean, I still don't think we're leaving immediately if we do decide to pick back up on the torchbearers, because we still haven't done what we came to this town to do regarding the torchbearers.
No. But we do need to commit ourselves to one. We can't go, all right, we're going to do this torchbearer thing, and 25% of the time we're also looking into the hag thing. Or flip those percentages around. So
So it sounds like
All in all, it sounds like there's 3 of us that are voting to move on to the torchbearers. One that's undecided, and one that would rather stay here. She says, counting the fact that Craig had said that Grouper would vote for
Right.
would vote for moving on. So at the moment, that seems like the majority.
all right, I will give Lyriel the heads up. And yeah, we'll just do another sending. Your go.
yeah, you'll get an affirmative response, and they will take over that part of the investigation.
Cool.
Sends back over the sending a thumbs up emoji.
Yeah. All right, so how are we actually going to find what we need to find out about the torchbearers here?
Well, our goal had been to investigate any potential leads on where the torchbearers are receiving funding.
Right.
And primary targets have been Western and Iman as places
Right.
that a lot of money moves through.
And Kymel.
And Kymel, which was a stop on the way to Iman that we were going to hit anyway with the relic seekers.
Huh.
Because there's relics in the Ivyheart thicket.
The sky just opened up and a thunderstorm started. So if the stream goes down, my internet went down. Sorry.
Yeah, it started here. It started here a few minutes ago. So,
Yeah, absolutely. My question is, where do we start with that?
can we get the map of
Western back? Yep.
Western back?
So yeah, you can go see if the expositor has gotten back into town yet, if you wanted to, or you can. There are a few other places in town you can go check. You know
So
that
you could probably check back and see if that expositor has returned, and they might know anything.
Oh, actually, the torchbearer exhibition has probably moved on at this point, so they're not there anymore. But
I think asking around the Opal
That's
ward
fine,
and the
wasn't it?
Market ward for any potential leads, obviously being cautious about it, not just asking openly, hey, do you know where the torchbearer's money comes from? But the Opal ward and the Market ward is where money and power moves, so those are probably going to be places to check.
I mean, they're also. You're not wrong. I don't think we should ignore the Scholar Ward either.
You'd be
They
better
go
left where the
they
Cobalt
go
Reserve
diving
is.
into old ruins for archaeological value.
I mean, fair, but that's also where the Cobalt Reserve is, so you'd kind of be covering that by going to check with them.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'll check with my peeps.
It's possible one of the temples might be funding them, but I would want to actually have a lead of which temple might do that before I start trying
before
to
we
knock
start
on
accusing any of the major churches of being complicit with trafficking and experimentation, and
Aye.
that's fair. I imagine that damn, I'm not trying to remember their names as their deed unbrand strict names as deities.
Sorry, which deity?
Accord.
Oh, the Storm Lord.
Yeah. I imagine the Stormlords people don't take too kindly to they probably react forcefully if you accuse their church of being corrupt, evil
Yeah, probably.
I mean, most
experimenters.
Most religious organizations probably react forcefully if you accuse them of corruption in general.
Yeah, but the Cord feels like the ones that are most likely to take it physically personal.
Yeah.
Actually, there's one place that I've been meaning to take a look as well.
Stormlord's Temple?
No, I've been through Western once or twice before. There's an underground section of the city, the Underwalk Ward, where most of the criminal element tends to move out of sight. If there's going to be information brokers in this town, that's where they'll be found.
I mean, okay, yeah, legit. do you have a lot of experience working undercover in the underground?
I tend to come off as a mercenary.
You tend to come off as a cop.
She wears nothing that is uniform. The only
No.
thing that indicates she has any
not-
allegiance
I'm
is
not
the
talking
crest.
about
not-
clothing.
It's not the outfit; it's the presentation.
100%.
Nah, Noshko wears those shiny black boots.
You come off like a fucking cop.
The person
And I mean
wearing,
that in kind of the most complimentary way.
says the person who is literally a secret cop.
Yes. The key word there being secret.
When the secret police tells you come off as the not secret police, you probably come off as the not secret police.
Like no offense. Like it's fine. It works for you. It is a great look on you, but you're the kind of person that when you walk up to the black market and say, "Hey, I would like to know what your wares are," you say it in a way that comes off as threatening, and I'm about to hit you with a book if you don't tell me.
You realize that when it comes to black market, I'm the person selling rather than buying.
That changes nothing.
Absolutely nothing about what I'm saying.
And I could be entirely wrong. That's just the vibe you give me.
To be fair, I'm pretty sure I've heard a story of Noshka going to a black market and telling them to give her the goods or she's going to hit them with a hammer, not a book.
To be fair, I only make that kind of overt action when I know what I'm looking for.
Just like a cop would.
Nashka just sort of gives
You
you this
literally-
sort of sideways look.
Sweetie, you literally work for the Chamber of Winestone hunting down illegal guns.
Cop task force.
Like, you're a fucking cop, I'm sorry. A good cop, but a cop. You're very good at what you do.
Yeah, and part of what I have to do is dealing with talking to people.
Alright. That's fine. Go ahead. Give it a go. I'm sure it's going to go great. Sincerely. I'm sure it's going to go great.
Noshka gets down there and all you hear is echoes of hide the guns.
I'm not saying that I'm going to be super better, for the record, because it has been a long time, and most of those ties that I established for the purposes of investigating were in Amman. They were not here. I don't know this city. I don't know how it operates. Again,
I've had to walk into multiple underground bars as a bounty hunter, because that's more of what my job entails than law enforcement.
That's a cop in the gig economy.
Not wrong.
A bounty hunter is literally just a cop in the gig economy.
It's the
Considering
it's
considering
the
bounty
Uber, it's
hunting
the
work-
Uber Eats of cops.
Considering bounty hunting tends to work more on the underground, I'm going to have to disagree with you.
Just like it's when the cops want to Uber in a criminal, but they don't want because they don't want to go out and get it themselves. They just call it, put a bag on
Right.
it and call it in.
Yes, 100%. It's fine. No, I'm not discouraging you. I just had to express the concern.
Would you rather do it?
Honestly, no, because I don't know that I would. Again, I don't know that I would be better because A, I've been hanging around with y'all too much,
I will say,
and B,
I will say,
I don't know this city and how it operates.
you are also married to a paladin. No, I'm just
Yeah, I didn't say I was bringing the paladin.
I'm just saying, like, of all the things,
You are the copyest cop PC we have ever had on Final Show Film.
you are working, you work for the government, retrieving illegal goods, and you're married to a paladin. Like, to be fair to the argument being made,
Noshka is pretty cop coded.
You are Final Show Film's Captain America right now.
you are like. He's a paladin of the Dawnfather, not a paladin of the
Right.
Lawbringer, which does make him slightly less copy. But
Right. No, in all seriousness,
Now, see, here's the problem. Because I don't immediately murder anyone who gets in my way.
was it
like I
paladin of
said, the
paladin-
Captain America
Yeah,
of. In all seriousness, you will be as good as I am here in doing this kind of stuff.
what are your respective charisma scores? Just out of curiosity.
Mine's like 16. I
Mine is flat, but I actually have proficiency in persuasion.
Mine is 15. I have, I believe, expertise in persuasion. Let me check I have a +9 in persuasion.
Like, she's not, like, innately
Yeah.
charismatic, but she's trained in persuasion and is also trained in investigation.
So yeah, it's
Firen,
a crapshoot over who would be better, honestly.
Firen, who is sitting.
I know
off to
we
one
will
side.
send Firen.
Well, no,
We'll send Firen to it because somehow Firen is the least obvious of all of us.
Firen, who is off to one side, sharpening a sword, just pipes up. Well, I mean, you could both go. There's no reason why only one of you got to go.
Once I go check in with the Cobalt Reserve, it's not a
It's not like
bad idea.
it's not like we're on a particularly hefty time crunch at the moment. You could just, all of us could go to the Cobalt's Reserve, talk to your expositor, and then the two of you could go to your black market and talk to the people there, see what you can find out.
I will say I appreciate that no one has considered anyone else going down there because we all know how that will go.
Well, obviously, no offense there, no offense there, love, gesturing towards Davina, but we don't really want someone who's going through this sort of traumatic experiences at the moment that Davina's going through to potentially be snatched up out of the street by someone that she's looking for. And also, we might never get Tenebris back.
Right.
Davina, who's currently twitching and
Yeah.
continuing to scribble,
Is
only half listening to this.
And
hence Firen's education.
Grouper doesn't give cop vibes, he gives honest vibes.
Grouper gives the kind of vibes where he's going to be taken and held for hostage for ransom.
I was gonna say,
and if
that's
not
not
just turned into
vibes, that's-
fillets.
That's not vibes. That's just what will happen. Like, Grouper can go down there and will not come off as cop. Grouper will absolutely lose everything he owns, including all of the clothing on him. B, get knocked unconscious, and C, wake up in his cell somewhere en route to Marquette.
And also, I mean, he got those fancy new shoes too. So I mean, we don't want to waste those.
Yeah.
Noshka might be cop coded. Grouper is victim coded.
Yes. Grouper just has a sign on his back that says "Kick me while I'm down." Like,
All right, let's go. Yeah, let's go stop by the Cobalt Reserve. See if there's any. See if you can get anything of use there. That sounds entirely transactional, but you know what I mean. How can we use my organization?
How can we use you today?
And then sure, we'll two of us can head down. We probably shouldn't be going to. Yeah, we probably should split up when we're down there a little bit, because.
I mean,
Vibes.
I was going to go get a drink. There's a bar down there.
Go.
At
Sounds
least
good.
I believe I recall that the survivor's legacy is a bar.
I don't know.
I do like how it was unspokenly decided that the charisma character is not the one to go talk to people.
The literal charisma spellcaster, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't actually know what the Star Wars Legacy is. I'm assuming it sounds like a bar, but
Yeah, let me see if I can pull up my.
anyways. But you're going to the Cobalt Soul first, presumably.
Correct.
Yeah.
Are we all going there?
We
I mean,
can.
everybody's welcome.
Everyone is welcome to go if you want to.
Do you have a reason not to?
Davina was gonna go back up to her room. She wants to try some stuff.
All right. Well, as they all head off, what stuff are you trying?
All right, it's a long shot, and it's not gonna work probably. She wants to see if there is any way. She wants to try to clear her mind and dig deep and see if there is any way she could find a psychic connection between her and any of the others that were there.
Okay.
And that's when they start blowing.
Yes.
Make
Davina
intelligence.
was made to
Make an intelligence saving throw.
Okay.
Plot twist: Davina was Silos this whole time.
21.
With 21,
Mm-hmm.
you're pretty certain there's no active connection, enchantment, or anything like that in your mind. At least psychically speaking.
There an enchantment anywhere else on her?
You can't tell with your psionic powers.
Okay.
Psionics are not magic, unfortunately. Or fortunately.
Oh no, the survivor's legacy is a
Then-
memorial. Good to know.
She's gonna. Okay, if that doesn't work and everybody else is left, right?
I mean, you know where they're going, though.
Oh no, she's only making good choices right now.
There.
She is gonna go off and try to do her own investigation of the torchbearers.
Okay.
Oh no.
She wants to find whoever is in charge, whoever they are currently taking orders from here.
You're trying to find whoever is in charge of the torchbearers here.
Yes.
Okay. We'll get to that in a second. The others that are going to the Cobalt Soul, though, you get to the Cobalt Reserve, and actually, before you can even ask, one of the archivists looks over towards Elefira and goes, Inquisitive Elefira,
Yes.
Expositor Zarathustra is waiting for you in the conference room.
Oh, thank you.
Thus spoke Zarathustra.
All right. Yep.
Also sprach Zarathustra. Hang on a second. Just fix this real quick because I'm trying to fix the lighting. There we go. All right. Yeah, you and your allies, however many of you wish to bring with you, are led to one of the conference rooms in the Cobalt Reserve. And in there you find a tall, feminine, but not strictly speaking, female individual,
Okay.
wearing dark blue and silver robe and cloak, with a holding a book that they are sort of like scanning out of, and idly swinging on their right hand. There's a ring that has a long chain attached to it that ends in like a blue crystal. That they are just sort of idly swinging back and forth, that you imagine is a spellcasting focus based on its design and attributes. They have sort of pale silver skin, silver eyes that reflect light oddly, kind of like cat's eyes do. Pointed elven ears and white hair that mostly hangs down their back, although a bit of it is tied up. And with the sort of the freckles on their face, will give you an odd inclination of like starlight for some reason. Having met Elisaria, you recognize that this is also an astral elf here, although
Okay.
possibly one of a different lineage, given that Elisaria was more like sun and star coded, and this one is more moon and star coded.
Right.
But Expositor Zarathustra, whose mini I will have in Slack for you momentarily, looks from the book to you. Elefira,
Yes.
your
Expositor.
Rook's student, yes?
Correct.
Go ahead. I understand you were looking for me.
Yes, we are. You're gonna have to help me out here with what we were literally just trying to see if they had any information on where the group gets their money.
Yeah, we were investigating the Torchbearers'
Yeah.
funds. That's why we came to this town. So
We're looking into. I'm sure you're familiar with the Torchbearers.
and whether or not
Sure.
whether or not this expositor knows anything, we were hoping that they might have leads, if nothing else.
Have leads, you said?
Yeah, we were hoping they
Yeah.
might have leads, if nothing
Okay,
else.
that word dropped out of the audio. So, got it. No, it's fine. I think it was just your voice dipped on that. So I didn't catch it. Anyways, it doesn't matter. We're looking at the torturers. I'm sure you know who they are. And into some of their activities, and specifically, we're hoping that we might be able to get in some insight or leads into where they get their money from, where their cash flow is from. It can't just be selling off it can't just be their charitable stuff and selling off what they find from expeditions and the like, because there are a number of activities that we have suspicions about that would cost a lot more than just that. I was wondering if you knew anything about that, you being...
Well,
I believe she was investigating that. She was the person that was investigating them. That's why her name was specifically mentioned,
yes,
wasn't it?
she's investigating.
Yeah.
In Western, she's investigating the
Yes.
Torchbearer activity. Well, we hadn't been able to acquire much information on their finances, although having to hazard a guess, I would assume private collectors would be the primary place to look for specific funding. They spend a lot of time delving into ruins, and what they find there, they tend to either if they're not able to use it themselves, will tend to sell it to private collectors through a variety of underground auctions, as far as my information has indicated. I can tell you what they've been doing specifically in the area outside of Westruun, though, as
Okay.
that is what I've been investigating more recently and have just come back from. Was actually planning to get together a group of investigators to go and take a look at it. How much do you know of their activities overall?
We know that they are, obviously we know what they are on the to the public. A nice gallivanting archaeological society that does a lot of charity work. We also know that they do a lot of less reputable raiding and some experimentation.
Well, in the realm of less reputable raiding, I've discovered that there is a hitherto unknown underground complex that seems to have been ruins, pre-calamity ruins, to the east of Westruun,
Okay.
south of the Turst Fields. There is it was previously just the site of a battleground, some generations back, that still shows the scars of the battle fought there. Mostly what we see is occasionally a campground for some of the wandering, migrating tribes of Goliaths in the region. But recently, a sinkhole opened up in the battlefield, and in that sinkhole seems to be the entrance to some pre-calamity ruins. And as I have just returned from my own fieldwork, I can tell you that the Torchbearers seem to have some bit of interest in those ruins. I imagine
That would make sense. They have been doing a lot of pre-calamity spelunking, let's say,
I imagine
as
that
near as we know.
any sort of valuable information, magic or otherwise, materials that they might find from there that they can't use, would then go on to be sold to private individuals via auction. That is, at least from what I can gain, their largest source of money, probably not their only source of money.
How literally underground are we talking with these auctions? Would they be held in some of the shadier corners of the underworld?
That's just what I was thinking.
Here in Westruun, if any are being held in Westruun, yes, you would look for some of the illicit activity in
The
the
Underwalk.
Underwalk. However, if my sources are accurate, they haven't been doing any auctioning here in Westruun, at least not that I've been informed of. The last auction that I know they had an item on was happening in Kymel. And before that, there were some pieces that were sold in Wildmount, although where precisely I'm not sure.
Anything being done in Wildmount lends credence that they might have connections to the Cerberus Assembly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's new information, if that's accurate.
Is a particular individual related to their activities who may or may not have originally been tied to the Cerberus Assembly before?
There are a couple possibilities, to be fair.
I see.
There are a few
Cerberus
possibilities
Assembly
where
is
they might-
definitely Cerberus Assembly, League of Miracles, or the Arcana Pensophical.
I see.
But activities in Wildmount kind of lends a bit more credence to the Cerberus Assembly because they watch everything going on there.
And to be honest, if I look at the three, my instinct immediately goes to Assembly because sketchy.
Fair. But yes, if you're interested, like I said, I know there was a few days ago actively torchbearer activity in the ruins to the east. I would
How far east?
2 days journey down down Parchwood Way and then south instead of turning north towards Toastfields.
Okay.
If you'd be interested in investigating, I would happily fund your investigation to go and explore those ruins and see what you can find that is of interest to the torchbearers, and if possible, see if you can find any torchbearers or any evidence they might have left behind.
I look over at Knajka. It's not a bad idea.
Gives us leads. It's more than we've currently got.
Right. Let us talk. We'll talk with the rest of our group and
Speaking over it, if let me know, I will be putting together a group of Cobalt Soul volunteers to investigate if you do not take it. But
Okay.
the sooner you let me know, the better.
I feel like we're probably gonna say yes, but I don't. We should not make the decision for everyone.
Absolutely. She sort of flicks the chain hanging from her hand, sort of in a way that seems just sort of a habitual fidget, but the gem then glows a little bit at the end, and she it looks like she's sending a message magically, but you don't know to whom.
Right.
And then just sort of like has that like middle distance stare for a second. Yes. Let me know, and
All
we'll
right.
have some
Will do.
discretionary funds directed your way.
Thank you.
And she nods.
We'll meet with everyone else then.
Yeah. It
Alright.
sounds like we're probably. I don't know. Do you still want to go check the underground?
It might be worthwhile. Well, if we're not leaving today, then yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's worth at least. Yeah, that's fair. All right. Cool. Let's go check. Let's go powwow.
All right. So Tenebrous is still with you. Group presumably is with you as well. Because
Yeah.
so you guys head back to the inn to find Davina then.
Yep.
Davina. So you're out looking for whoever's in charge of the torchbearers in the city today.
Yep.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
That's gonna go well.
21.
21. So you know you have found that the exhibition, the torchbearer exhibition, is not has packed up and left. It packed up and left a couple days ago. So there's no overt torchbearer presence in the city at the moment. But knowing that they're always everywhere, you decide to head into the Underwalk to sort of see what you can find down there. I need to look up a thing real quick. Actually, given the time, this is the perfect place actually to go ahead and take a break for a little bit. So while I'm looking up some information and figure out what I'm going to figure out the result of that 21 investigation roll for Davina, we're going to go ahead and take our break. Remember, when we take our break, you take yours. So stand up, stretch your legs, do whatever you need to do. Stay tuned for these commercial messages, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. We're back. A dinosaur story. So, you head to Davina. You head to the Underwalk, which you can get to via the residential ward. There's a large staircase in the residential ward that leads down into the dark, lit by a few torches. Do you have dark vision as a Selkie folk?
I think I do. I'm checking. I could also be confusing characters, so I don't.
Okay. So yeah, you head down into the darkened alleyways, pathways of the underward. Looking around, so the underward is a series of tunnels that were expanded out of sewers and basements and things when Westrun was destroyed by the Chroma Conclave, and it has since been expanded into sort of like a semi-residential business ward. It's largely unpopulated. There's not a lot of people. There aren't as many people down here as there are above. Large people that live here are people that can't afford to live in the actual residential ward, or people that are trying to do entrepreneurial activities in the dark. It's not the safest place because there's always people hiring adventurers to deal with giant rats that have invaded the sewers or various other nasty things that have crawled up out of the yet further dark below. But it is a place to go when you're trying to look for people that don't want to be found. You head down. The 21. There is no evidence of torchbearers being down here. You do find that as you're wandering, you get the sense that you're being watched or followed. Make me a history or survival check. One of the two.
All right.
Natural 20 on survival.
20? Yep.
So the natural 20 on survival, you're definitely being watched by local criminal organizations. You're not certain who or what, but you just sort of get that sense as you're moving around that people are keeping an eye on you because you are not someone that belongs down here, and the whatever gang or criminal organization or whatever that runs the underward has their eyes on you. They're not engaging with you in any way. This is just a evaluatory as far as you can tell. What is this person? Are they here to cause problems? Are they here to spend money? Are they just wandering? Are they an easy prey?
You a cop?
Are you a cop or a victim? It's sort of evaluatory as far as you can tell from the sense that you're getting just from as you're wandering around. So you haven't found any hide nor hair of torchbearers though, as far as you can tell. Are you going to continue looking down here, or what are you doing?
He's gonna continue searching.
Right. So, when you say the people that are in charge of the torchbearers, what do you mean? What would your idea of a success be here?
She is trying to find the person that they take orders from.
Ow.
In specific,
In this.
like the person that all the torchbearers in the city take orders from, the person that all the torchbearers around the world take from.
No. In the city. There's
Okay.
got to be someone in charge in the city.
Okay. How are you going about that? Are you asking around? Are you just sniffing around? Are you hoping that your torchbearer sense will kick off? What do you in what specific manner?
I mean, I'm hoping my torchbearer sense will tinkle. No. I'm probably just gonna start asking around.
Okay. Give me a persuasion check.
And
With a 10? As far as you can tell, nobody knows anything about the torchbearers. You start asking about, hey, do you know who the torchbearers are? Who's leading the torchbearers here in town? And largely the response you get are torch who? Or varying degrees of that. Doesn't seem like anybody in the Underwalk that you're interacting with knows who you're talking about. Go ahead and make me an insight check real quick.
13.
As far as you know, none of them are lying either. Either you've just come to the completely wrong space, or you're talking to the completely wrong people. Wow, that was loud.
Yeah. I heard it here a couple seconds before you
Yep,
did.
I heard it too.
I don't know if y'all heard it over the microphone, but
No,
I
no,
heard
like,
vaguely something,
I felt
but
it.
not much.
I felt that thunder strike.
it's still rumbling over here.
Oh, it's still rumbling over here too. Like my chair vibrated.
This dog is trying to climb into my lap because she is terrified.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
thunderstorms do that.
Okay. She'll start heading out then.
Maybe a perception check.
13.
All right, now make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, goody.
Oh no.
Perfect.
Wow.
You feel something sharp poke into your neck,
Mhm.
and everything goes black. Meanwhile, the rest of you can't find Davina.
That's not a good sign.
You go back to the inn. She's not there. You ask around. People recall seeing her head out, but they don't know where.
Really not in her right mind.
You want me to reach out?
What was that?
Do you want me to reach out?
Yeah, see if you can send her.
Yep.
Let me-
Hey D, what's up? Where are you? We're looking for you.
Let me look at sending real quick.
This is Ella, by the way.
The message arrives, but there's no response. There's been a new line added to sending, by the way, for the 2024 rules. Upon receiving your message, a creature can block your ability to reach it again with the spell for 8 hours. If you try to send another message during that time, you learn that you are blocked and the spell fails.
It's like they can say, "Do not call this number again."
Yeah, they can
They block your number.
Yeah, they can block your number for 8 hours.
Temporary block.
Just every 8 hours you get in your head, we're trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
That line was added specifically because someone on the D&D design team has a player that keeps casting sending to their villain.
Yep. 100%. I mean, I feel like that's the common use of sending these days.
Hey, bitch, what you up to today?
Hey, bitch, WYD.
Guess who's not dead yet?
Stop calling this number.
Well, do you want the good news or the bad news?
The bad news, because there's bad news. That's bad news.
The bad news is apparently she's not talking to me.
That's not good, and that's not usually how that goes.
The good news is it reached her, so she's alive.
And on this plane of existence, presumably.
And on this plane of existence.
I'll say make a really difficult insight check, Elefera.
17.
Now make an Arcana check.
18.
Based on the fact that there was no response, and effectively like the mental like timer that gives them that they have a certain time limit with which to respond ticked all the way down to 0, and how you know the spell works.
Right.
If she didn't respond, either she's pointedly ignoring you,
Right.
or she's not awake.
She could be asleep.
If she were asleep, she'd be here. At least, if
Sorry,
she
did
were
I
asleep
asleep?
voluntarily.
Did I say asleep? I meant unconscious.
That's a problem, yes.
Well,
You don't happen to know locate creature.
I happen to.
Good. It's going to be very relevant.
What's the distance on the creature?
1,000 feet.
You are nowhere near where she's at.
Yeah. Sit down, cast, ritual style. Well, she's not here.
Walk
not
over
here.
2,000.
She's probably
Walk down.
unconscious.
Walk down the street 2,000 feet. Ritual cast it again. Walk down the street another 2,000 feet.
This guard's watching you go. What the fuck is going on over there?
She's not here. She's unconscious, presumably.
Uh-huh. Or asleep.
Or mad at
Those
you.
are two separate things. Or mad at me, which is, let's be honest, not entirely out of the realm of possibility.
I feel like she'd at least say fuck off.
Maybe. Probably. Maybe.
Depends on what
Middle
she was
finger
mad-
emoji.
Depends on what she was mad at you about, really.
What were we
Uh,
talking about with her last time that she might have gone to go investigate?
Everything.
The torchbearers.
The torchbearers, the hag, she was literally sitting right there, scribbling it furiously, not angrily, furiously. Those are two separate things.
Davina, the book that you
Although
were,
maybe it
the
was
book that you were taking
angry.
notes in, is it still here? Or is it with you?
Yeah, she left it there.
Do you look at her book? At what she was writing?
Yeah,
into?
yeah. I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna go check.
What's the last? What did you write on the last page of
On-
your notes, Davina?
Honestly, she would have written what was on her mind before she left,
Which was
which would be Torchbearer. I'm sorry, what town are we in right now?
Western.
Western.
Okay, I keep wanting to call it Amon. I know we're not there yet.
Yeah.
Western. Western must have leader. Question mark, question mark.
Najka, you're better at yelling at us than I am. So I'm going to show you the page. So when we find her, you get to do the yelling.
Fucking hell.
I'm just going to say it. We've all done some dumb shit during this time. I look around to see if Grouper is distracted with something else. But this
Look,
is worse
he's
than
currently-
Grouper level dumb shit.
He's kind of like he's like saying the command word that makes his platform shoes go up 5 feet and then down 5 feet
makes
over and over again?
This tops. I lick the statue.
Groper just in the corner, up and down, up and down, up and down.
Fuck. Let's go.
This tops. I lick the statue. Sentences that you can only say in D&D, folks.
Not necessarily. You get some stupid kids and
Fair. Where you going?
Yeah, where do we start?
Well,
If you were Davina, where would you begin?
Make an insight check if you want. Davina, what is your
15.
passive?
Deception.
natural 20.
What is your passive
25.
wisdom score? What is your 10 plus whatever your wisdom modifier is?
12.
12. Okay. With a 15 and a 25, are you gonna make an insight check too as Tenderus? Or are you just gonna
I don't
follow
feel
along?
the need to.
Okay.
I'm just gonna follow along.
With a 15, Elvira, and a 25, natural 20 from Najka. I mean, you'd probably start by going to check out where the Torchbearer exhibition was first. And then you'd progressively look for the seedier locations in town until you got to what you were looking for or gave up.
Look at each other at the same time. Underwalk.
Underwalk. Let's go.
Yeah.
So you head to the residential ward. You head down the stairs into the underward. So this place is like as previously described. It's a series of connecting tunnels that have all been elaborated somewhat. You can tell that there's been a pretty good, decent effort at turning it into sort of a unique goods and commodities marketplace, in addition to lower income housing section of the city. How are you looking around in the underground?
How big is the underground?
Pretty big. The tunnels extend across Westruun. Not all of them are populated, but the tunnels stretch from one end of the city to the other, and beyond in some cases.
How good are you at physical tracking?
This is the only known primary entrance to the Underwalk. There are presumably a few dozen other ways to get down here, but this is the main one.
How good are you at physical tracking?
Awful.
You want to try that spell again and just hold it while we try and make our way down?
That was my thought, yes.
We're at the
cast
entrance. She
locate
would have come
creature.
through here, so it's just a matter of how far in did she get from here.
Yep.
You cast locate
And
creature.
if she's been moved.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. Locate creature. Within 1,000 feet.
But it cannot locate a creature if any thickness of lead blocks blocks a direct path between you and the creature.
Correct.
Nothing.
Can you keep it the
It's
2024 edition does? Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna keep going. Keep it going.
Let me see for
See
how
what
long
we-
it is.
Up to 1 hour.
Yeah, up to an hour. Yeah, so you can just keep it up for an hour.
All right.
All right. Other than keeping that up and walking, what are you doing? Asking around.
Najka's
You're
going-
leading the way because I'm focusing.
Najka's going to lead the way towards population concentrations, places where she would have gone to ask questions.
And you can do other things while concentrating on locate creature. You just can't do intensive
For sure.
things like things that would
For
require an
sure,
action.
yes.
You're heading towards. So yeah, you're heading towards marketplace. Basically, it sounds like Najka.
Yeah.
Right? Are you asking around or are you just looking around?
She's going to ask, but not.
Tenebris
Yeah.
is Timbers is
she'll-
gonna
Go on.
Timbers is gonna keep an eye out for anyone watching us, like a watcher.
Okay.
And we'll try to signal to them that they have a question.
Survival check.
What do you want?
21. All right. What are you doing, Najka?
Najka will start to ask some of the more reputable looking individuals if they've seen an individual matching Davina's description recently.
Give me an insight check to see if you can find a reputable looking individual.
23.
Okay. Then give me a persuasion check.
Fucking dice. Fine, I'll use an inspiration. Better.
14. What about you, Olivera? Are you asking around as well, or are you just focusing
Yeah,
on
I will also ask around. Sorry.
persuasion check?
Yep.
Also, a
Same
14.
result.
This is important enough. I will also inspire.
All right, good.
14 it is.
I hate inspiration so much because it always happens.
This is why I took the lucky feat on my witch that I'm playing. It's nice just
So
to be
you
able to
can
go,
roll the
"Lucky!"
same die. So you can roll the same number on a d20 3 times.
Yeah, exactly. If you roll it 3 times, it's lucky, right? Yeah. Take that to the bank. With a pair of 14s, you're asking around.
We're not asking about like specific secret
Yeah,
information.
no.
We're,
You're
have you
asking about,
seen this person?
have you seen this
So-
person? Yeah. The answer is yes. Lots of people have seen her. No one knows where she went from the last time they saw her, but they have seen her down here. She has been down here. Tenebris,
Do they know? Can they give us at least a direction that she had gone?
around the market. So in the area you're in was the last time they saw her. You get multiple different directions, but all of them are like concentrated within the area. But the 21 Tenebris, yeah, you're definitely being watched. You're not being watched by. You can tell that local criminal organization, whoever's in charge of the area, is definitely watching you as a group. There are enough of you here, given the assumption that the NPCs are here with you too, that they're not likely to act on the fact that you're here unless you start causing trouble. But they're definitely watching you.
Tenebris, like while the others are like asking shopkeepers, Tenebris kind of falls back and when not in immediate sight, will like try to ask the watcher.
They're
like,
not.
"Hey."
You don't know where they're at.
Oh,
You just
okay.
have a sense that you're being watched, and you can confirm it by the fact that there are some people in the crowd that are not there when you look for them a second time, kind of thing. It's not.
Okay.
It's not like you've got. It's not like you've picked out a specific person that is watching. You can tell this is whoever these people are. They're very good at keeping an eye on the people in their community, and they are very good at not being noticed. You haven't picked any specifically out. There's just a pattern of people moving in and out of the location and pointedly looking in the direction of your group that has made you aware of the fact that there is a watch on you.
Tenebris will still drift like out of the group,
Mhm.
but within like earshot
Are you
to see if any watcher approaches.
are you trying to see if you can get a hold of one of them? Like you can get
Yeah.
to where you can talk? Okay. So go ahead and give me a. You already made the survival check to notice them. Go ahead and give me a perception check to find specifics. 17.
17.
There is a elf that you have spotted a couple of times in the watch rotation. Seems to be someone that is on probably the person that was on duty when you got here. That you've seen them in a couple of different spots, and keeping an eye out as Najka and Elfira are doing their rounds and asking. You get a sense for, there's like 6 locations from which they watch. they've moved from 1 to 3 to 6 to 2 to 4. You have a pretty good idea of where they'll be next. So you can be in that position ready to talk to them if you want.
Yeah.
So you move over. How do you want to open the conversation? Do you want to like just immediately start talking to them, or do you want to go, hey, I had a question?
Like, hey, you got a moment? Like, make sure I get his attention. Don't just like startle him.
Are you
And
trying to, you're trying to get his attention. Are you trying to present yourself as a threat or as just a knowledgeable person that wants information?
I don't think anything Tenebris does will make him come across as a threat.
This is a fantasy setting. It doesn't matter how big you are has no bearing on how much of a threat you are. Just ask cranium rats.
No, Tenebris will try to come across as an outsider with questions.
Okay. Give me a persuasion check.
I'm going to use an inspiration on that.
There.
I'm not taking it too.
Apparently, you are.
The 9. So yeah, you lead with the hey, what's up? And as you do, the person looks over at you. You can tell there's like a moment of processing. Hey, what's you on about then?
I'm looking for someone, and you seem the type to know if someone been through here, where they might have gone.
Maybe I do, maybe I don't. What's in it for me?
Tenebris will jingle a pocket, like his coin pouch.
Hey, we don't purchase things on sound here.
Well, what kind of payment will depend on how good the information is.
Well, any information at all requires cost up front.
Tenebris will set 10 gold. He'll pull out 10 gold and just hold it in his hand.
And I know that's not some of that fake gold, yeah?
I can't understand the accent.
He said, how do I know it's not some of that fake gold then, yeah?
Does Najka pick up this is happening off to one side?
No.
Okay.
How do I know your information's not fake?
I mean, you know enough to spot me and talk to me, right?
We need a little bit of trust here. Would I risk my hide with fake gold down here?
All right, what you want to know?
We're looking for, and gives a quick description of Davina.
Ah, you're looking for the girl. Yeah, seen her down here. Got herself in trouble.
Asking too many questions of the wrong people type of trouble.
Being a little bit too loud, yeah? Same questions. Loud people, though. Get picked off. Not by us, though. If there's another 5 in there, I'll tell you who.
Pulls out another 5.
Holds a hand up.
Hands it to him.
Takes it, counts it, bites one, puts it back. Alright. See, look, there's a bunch of cats from a bunch of folk out of Wildmount. Been in town for a while. They got these dog patches on the shoulders. I've been operating in some of the darker tunnels down further in. Occasionally, they've been known to spirit away wealthy-looking uptowners that ask too many questions and all by themselves. Your girl was by herself. She was asking a lot of questions. Jabbed her in the neck, took her off.
Good to know.
I'd take some backup if I was you. They're not the kind they're not the kind that play light.
Teneris will float come an extra gold and head back to the group.
Alifera and Najka, you are talking to your 10th person that doesn't know anything. When Teneris pops back up on your radar.
Najka looks over. Anything useful?
Teneris will give a quick recap of his conversation.
You said dog patches.
Both of you can make history checks if you want.
I don't need to. I know what that means, but
You do,
sure.
but does your character?
You do, but does your
Fair.
character?
20.
20, not 20.
No.
Tenebrous,
27.
no idea. Alifera and Najka, Cerberus Sibley.
Yeah.
Motherfucker!
Well, that's
So whatever, like, doll, like, cute little statuette, like tchotchke that's sitting on a sellsword just got punched across the way, and then I grumbly hand like a gold piece to whatever stall it was at.
To be clear, you know that the Cerberus Assembly doesn't have the Cerberus Assembly itself does not use a dog on a patch.
Right.
But
the
they're like they have a number of like offshoot mercenary groups that do work for them outside of Wildmount, and those are typically identifiable by dog patches. Like it's either one depending on what their task is, it'll be a dog with a number of different heads. You weren't given an idea of how many heads were on the patch, just dog patches, which is also a colloquialism in the underworld for Cerberus Assembly.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the members of the assembly don't have a uniform. They're all archmages, but their servants wear the dog patches.
Not their servants. Their hired help wears them.
They're mercenaries.
Yeah, they're mercenaries wear dog patches. It's one of those things where it could very easily be mistaken for an actual mercenary group. But
well, we got a direction. Let's fucking go.
Yep.
Be ready for everything.
Gonna go great.
Davina, you begin to come to consciousness. You have a headache, and your arms and legs are bound.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
$19.
You're on a stone floor, as far as you can tell. There's no light in here, so you can't really see much. You can get a sense of the walls being relatively close to you. And it smells like a sewer. Your hands and feet are bound.
Mm-hmm.
And if you wiggle a bit, you can tell the things that are binding your hands and feet are themselves also tied together. So you're in a bit of a situation.
Mm-hmm. Is there anyone around?
Not as far as you can tell.
Currently looking through all my abilities.
What would you like to try to do?
I mean, I would like to try to get out of what is binding me right now.
That would be a First
You don't
roll.
have telekinesis as one of your psychic disciplines, do you?
I don't believe so. I've got telepathic contact. No, I don't have telekinesis.
Unfortunate.
Would come in handy.
Hang on, just updating the thing right now. Um, so, go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check to see if you can get out of this. Begin slipping out of your bonds.
Okay. It's probably not gonna end well, but 16. Not awful.
16, you begin trying to sort of wheel your hands out and wheel your feet out. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. These ropes are very well tied, and you're not able to slip out anything.
Can I move at all? Wall bound?
Yeah, you can like wiggle around, yeah.
Like wiggle, yeah. Alright, she's gonna wiggle around the room she is in. See if she can find a door or anything.
Okay. Perception check with disadvantage.
Seventeen.
So the room you're in is fairly small. As you sort of like wiggle around, you get a sense that it's not much wider than you are tall in any direction. Like it's a bit wider than you are tall, but not by much. One of the walls does have a door in it, as far as you can tell.
Okay. Wiggle towards door.
Mhm.
Is there a gap between like the door and the floor at all?
If there is, it's
That
not
she-
lit that you can tell.
Okay. So I can't try to like look out of anything.
I mean, you can try, but you just can't see
Um,
anything. Yeah.
Okay. Again, I'm sorry, I'm looking through my
That's
stuff.
fine.
I'm trying to see if there's anything I
good.
can try to do right now.
Take your time.
No. See, most of these require someone else to be around.
Is the inherent downside of telepathy versus telekinesis.
And I have to be looking at someone to do the psychic connection, right?
Yeah, you have to be able to see him.
Mm. There's not a lot I can do
Okay.
right now unless
That's
I
fine.
can get out of my bonds.
You can try an athletics check to see if you want to try to burst your
Okay.
bonds instead of wiggling out.
Athletics or acrobatics?
Athletics to burst bonds.
Okay.
Sleight of hand to slip out. Athletics to just break.
Yeah, that's not gonna end well, but I will try.
You could nat 20. You didn't, but you could.
Do you have any psionic focuses that might help you with that?
With athletics?
Because remember that your focuses give you different ability based on which
Yeah.
which psionic thing you have focused. They give you different things that you can do, different passive benefits typically. What talents do you have, or what disciplines do you have?
I have adaptive body, aura sight, telepathic contact. It's still going down. Psychic phantoms and mastery of water.
Yep. Nope. None of those help you in this particular case.
I know. Yeah. That's why I keep looking through everything. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, those are all require other people things to do. So yeah, you're trying to wrestle out your bonds and you nothing's working. You're not hearing anything either. So it doesn't sound like there's anybody on the other side of the door or nearby or in the room with you. We'll come back to you in a minute. The others, as you're heading deeper into the tunnels, go ahead and make me in either investigation or survival checks to see if you can track whoever it is that took Davina.
Motherfucker.
I'm
take a
keeping
natural
I'm keeping the locate creature
Mm-hmm.
up until it wears off.
Yep.
I will
So-
spend my last inspiration on that.
You
because
said
I am not
survival?
taking a fucking
Either
natural
investigation or
one.
survival.
There we
Okay.
go.
Yeah, I'm definitely better at investigation. Nat 20.
Nat 20. All right. 22. Nat 20,
It's
and a
making
9.
up for my first couple of rolls.
Yeah. With 22 and Nat 20, the two of you begin sort of looking at the environment and sort of figuring out if I were a mercenary group that was working for the service, simply where would I hide? And heading into the more abandoned sections of the underground, away
Right.
from the market and away from the various other places, but to the places that still show signs that there have been people here recently. Elefira, as you start walking down, you notice that several sections of the underground, because the underwalk area has been sort of like a reconstructed, repurposed section thing that was, a combination of sewers and basements. You've noticed that some of the basements, some of the places that used to be basements that you're seeing, have lead in the walls. And with that in mind, you start trying to steer the group more towards looking into the structures that were probably formed out of the basement areas more than the places that were formed out of the sewers. Just because if there's lead in the walls, that could be what's blocking your ability to locate creatures.
Right.
And if you were a syndicate, and if you were a group of people that were prone to kidnapping others, you'd probably put them in lead-lined walls.
Yep, it's a smart move.
So after a couple of hours of investigating, you sort of stop down a corridor from where you hear some activity. Peering around the corner, you can see that there are at least two individuals in the hallway that you're looking at, standing outside of a door. Seem to be standing guard. And they both have patches on their shoulders that have two heads on the dogs. Make me a either history or arcana check, both and all three of you.
Fucking. Okay, well, I'm getting natural
16.
ones out of the way. Fucking hell.
Jesus.
With a 16, Elefira and Tenebris, you both know that mercenary groups with the two-headed patch are asset requisition groups. These are people that prioritize capturing people alive and returning them to Wildmount for whatever purpose the Cerberus simply wants. They will capture people for experiments. They will capture animals for fight pits. Whatever it is that people need physically acquired and taken to Wildmount, these are the kinds of people that they get.
Okay. Since well, actually, that might be useful. I think we found our place.
So do I. Guns blazing, or try and talk our way through it first?
Oh, they're not here for good reasons. If
Oh,
they
no,
don't
they're
have
not.
Davina, they're doing it to somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely. The question is, do we tell them that their prey isn't worth their lives and see if they take it, or do we just go in guns blazing?
No, because they will probably grab someone else.
All right.
I'm assuming at some point throughout this day we have gotten a short rest.
I mean, you've
Is
had
that fair to say?
while you've been looking.
No, from the start of the day, from the moment I cast my first sending.
Not really, because you went.
Not really.
Yeah, because you went to
Okay.
you went to the Cobalt Soul, then you came back looking for Davina. Couldn't find Davina, then immediately started looking for Davina.
All right, give me 10 minutes. I'm casting silence.
Okay.
They're mercenaries working for a spell casting organization. The idea that they might have spells is not out of the realm of possibility.
Okay.
And I don't think Tenebris, but if Tenebris knows about it, they can work around it. I certainly don't have any spells that are going to be useful once we get into the fight.
And Najka does not need sound.
Right.
Alright.
So yeah, I am going to silence the shit out of that place.
So you're gonna cast silent.
The spot around them.
So you're gonna get your casting silence targeting the door that they're at.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Just want to make sure. All right. Well, we will pick up.
Najka's going to prepare herself to charge in as the silent spell is going off.
We will pick up with assaulting the place that Davina possibly is being kept prisoner next week. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.